It's a terrible football show, all right?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Come on, Shane. OH. OH.
Io, baby,
go.
yeah! Shane, I swear to God.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man.
Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you can thoroughly kiss my ass.
Why not let us decide the top four?
Yeah, let a terrible football show
Let a terrible
decide the top
football
four.
show.
Fuck you, Shane.
Roll Tide. Have a good one, guys.
Oh,
Have a good show.
oh, yeah, he's got to go. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I like that Baker Mayfield and myself, man. He was baking up there in the Browns, and it just turned into a big old shit pile. So,
Get that right. I will fly you out and take you to a game in Dallas of your fucking choice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? It's a terrible football show after all. Welcome to Terrible Football Show, episode 97. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're watching or listening to this terrible-ass show over here at youtube.com/@Sparky3 or any other platform that we are available on. It's just me and Shane this week. Ricky is on a boat somewhere, MIA. We don't know where, but we hope he's having a great time. And Jacob's also living his best life right now, but me and Shane's going to hold it down. Shane, how you doing? How you feeling, buddy?
Doing all right. Getting excited about these mock drafts.
Yo, it's that time, man. It's that time. And I feel like these past few days, we got a little bit more clarity on a few things, if you know what I mean.
Yep, for sure.
Told you guys it was coming. We're going to chat about it today, of course. The residential Chicago Bears fan here, Justin Fields, was traded. Before we started the show, about an hour ago, the Jets made a very nice signing of Mike Williams. So shout out to that one. It's going to be a big target for Aaron Rodgers, a target that, he likes to have a big man like that. The Bengals also announced the signing that I just saw before we started, where I had to quickly do a re-edit on my mock on the fly, where they got Trent Brown signed, offensive tackle. Now they have Orlando Brown and Trent Brown. Shout out to that man, protecting Joe Burrow.
The Jets also signed Tyron Smith.
Yeah, true. That is very true. I wish I remembered that before my mock draft. It's all right. I can bust another one out real quick. But no. It's going to be a fun show. We are in mock draft time. Looking forward to that. Oh, shit. I got Ricky somewhere. I need to pull that up. But, yeah, if you could, be a friend, tell a friend, like, follow, subscribe, whatever your platform allows. We'd appreciate that. And just share the podcast. We'd appreciate that, guys. All right, let me turn this down. We are just like tomorrow we have USC Pro Day, so that's a big day for the Bears, obviously, with Caleb Williams and stuff. We have some more Pro Days coming up here soon. Going to have a lot of teams there. The Vikings made an interesting move this past week where they traded with the Houston Texans, and now the Vikings hold the 23rd overall pick as well as the 11th overall pick. So the moment I saw that, let me go ahead and get this out now. The moment I saw that told me, okay, there will be at least a fourth quarterback in this first round. Because I was very firm in the boat that no matter how desperate a team got, they would not take one of these other guys in the first round, like J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, or Bo Nix. I like all these guys. Let me stress it. I like these guys. I just don't think they're first rounders. That's my opinion. But Vikings moving up and not giving up their 11th pick, that tells me there is going to be someone else in this first round besides our main three. And honestly, I still think they're and now that this move, I feel like the Vikings, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, Shane. With the Vikings making that move, getting that 23rd overall pick, do you feel like that puts pressure on these other QB needy teams where they may have to get a little desperate and go ahead and draft someone else, like a Michael Penix or a Bo Nix or whatever, assuming that JJ is going to be a Viking, because that's my assumption. Spoiler alert, I guess. And let's say JJ is going to be a Viking. Do you feel like this really puts the pressure on these other teams to go ahead and be desperate and draft a QB in the first, or do you think they're still going to just kind of remain patient?
I think, yeah. I think if you're in the 10 to 22 range, if you are not happy with your quarterback situation, you have teams like the Vikings at 11, Broncos at 12, Raiders at 13, the Saints at 14, Rams at 19 possibly could be looking for a player as well.
Yeah, their future.
Yep. And then other than that, you have Vikings again at 23. If you're any of those teams, you're gonna be really looking into it and to see if these what you could call back end quarterbacks in the first round. A Bo Nix, a Michael Penix, a JJ McCarthy.
Right.
Guys that are outside those top threes. If you're wanting to reach on those guys.
Right.
Because if not, I don't think the Vikings would potentially. Of course, it depends on what they're looking at, and what they're hearing around the league and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'd take quarterback 11. I don't think they do.
Man, that's been my vibe this whole time is they wouldn't. Like,
yeah,
even
I don't think they take it 11. I think they wait till that 23rd pick or possibly the mid-teens, and maybe they retrade up to get something if they're feeling a vibe.
Right.
But I think for sure if you don't take a quarterback between 20 at 10 to 22, at 23 another quarterback's going to go to the Vikings.
Right, yeah. See, I've been real back and forth on these two Vikings picks because, like, at one hand, my first knee-jerk reaction was, okay, they're going to get a quarterback at 23, but man, and I know you may disagree, but man, I don't know. The Broncos sitting right there behind them at 12 makes me nervous on that, where it's just like, okay, I could see the Vikings getting a little too desperate and go ahead and grabbing their guy, right? Go ahead and grabbing it at 11. They're going to have to pay him a little bit more than they would the 23rd pick, right? But go ahead and they're securing their guy so the Broncos can't get the guy that they want, because, this is just going to be an assumption the Broncos are just going to snag like J.J. McCarthy at 12. I feel like, man, after the fourth pick, shit's are going to get very spicy in this draft. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, do the Chargers stay at 5 or not?
Just imagine the worst case scenario here. You have quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Right, and then you have them go 11 and 12.
Yep.
That's it. That shit will hit the fan.
I know. I'm telling you, it's going to be real interesting after the fourth pick because it's like the fifth pick. What do the Chargers do? Do they get the best receiving weapon left on the board, whether it be Brock Bowers or Malik Neighbors, assuming that Marvin's going to go at 4? Or do they maybe get a little extra value because they don't have a great receiving core, so you'd think they just want to go ahead and snag their guy, right? Or do they get a little extra value? And maybe the Vikings get a little too desperate. Maybe your Broncos get a little too desperate, and they make a play. The Chargers wouldn't trade to the Broncos, so never mind. Vikings get a little too desperate, and they make a move up to 5. Same thing. What if the Chargers, stay put, draft a receiver? Giants at 6. What if your Broncos or the Vikings get a little too desperate and try to make that move up? I mean, they're not necessarily jumping ahead of anyone from 6 to 7, 8, 9, 10. They're trying to jump ahead of each other. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting, man. Like, I'm telling you, that Vikings trade. I know it's late in the first, but man, that told me a very large story, right? Very large story that shit's about to get very interesting at the quarterback position for this upcoming draft.
Sure, for sure.
Touching on quarterbacks, though, obviously over the weekend, Justin Fields, my guy out of Chicago, was traded. No surprise, Look, I've been saying for multiple episodes now that I saw the writing on the wall. I mean, he was out. I went ahead and accepted it. I'm accepted that Caleb Williams is my guy. I'm gonna go ahead and look forward to it. It is what it is. I'm not gonna try to run from it. I'm not gonna be pissed. I'm just gonna go ahead and accept it. But the one plus side is that assuming all the reports are true, because it even comes from like Ian Rappaport and a few others, the Bears had better offers on the table, but they chose the offer that Justin wanted, like where Justin wanted to go to. So if that's the case, A+ move by Ryan Poles, because not only are you doing right by Justin, a guy who I think everyone can agree, including the Bears organization, has been screwed from the jump, and basically got screwed in this situation because he's got a team that he probably could have taken to the playoffs this year, because he's had steady improvement. But it's not only good by him, but it's also good for your locker room because that locker room loves Justin, right? I also saw an interview with CHGO podcast where they had Cole Kmet on again, and Cole Kmet talked about it, and he said that Ryan Poles reached out to everyone in the locker room that was like best friends with Justin. So Cole was reached out to, DJ Moore, a couple other guys that are like real tight, and Ryan Poles let them know before the news broke that, hey, we're trading Justin. He's going to the Steelers. So that's still a plus move by the GM. You know what I mean? Like, I know Ricky is very adamantly upset about this move. He thinks my GM is a complete idiot. I don't think he's complete. He's made some bonehead moves. Chase Claypool is a great example. Everyone likes to circle back to that one, but man, he's built a very competitive team. I don't think anyone can deny that, and for great value. I mean, this trade for Keenan Allen, that really still dates back to last year, because the draft pick that we sent for Keenan was the Carolina pick. You know what I mean? Like, it was the late round Carolina pick. I mean, like, dude, that Carolina trade, unbelievable what we've gotten out of it. DJ Moore, the first overall pick in to be Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, Tariq Stevenson, great guy from the U, playing at corner for us. Like, I mean, Ryan Poles has built a hell of a team, and him making the move that he did, and the fashion that he did it, telling Justin's best friends in the locker room first, sending somewhere that he wants to be. Hey, that's A+ moves. You're gonna keep your locker room behind you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the main thing. You're keeping the locker room together. Would you kind of get that same vibe?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Because I mean, I feel like that's the most important thing right now when you're in this very icy transition. When the fans were like chanting his name that last home game, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like not only does it keep the locker room together, I feel like it keeps the fan base together. Where, especially because, I mean, it's one thing to see reports, right? That's one thing. Like, if Ian Rappaport reporting it, that's pretty trustworthy. That's great. So it gives me some confidence that, okay, the Bears did actually have a couple better offers. But also Cole Kmet coming out and admitting that, oh yeah, we knew before it was done. Ryan reached out to us personally. Hey, A+, man. You're keeping the fans together by showing that you want to do right by someone, and you're keeping the locker room together. And also, I love the move for Pittsburgh, man. I mean, even Russ is excited. Russ tweeted that he's pumped. It's gonna be a great quarterback room. That's great. I was afraid, like, oh man, is Russ gonna be pissed? You know what I mean? No, he's here for it. He tweeted that he was excited. So I mean, look, I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
Only thing with that, there was rumors that in Russell Wilson's opening press conference or whatever, he stated, "Oh yeah, I went up to Kenny Pickett. I said it was going to be a great year," and he said pretty much the exact same thing that he tweeted out about Justin Fields. And then less than 6 hours later, Kenny Pickett's out the door.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Apparently, Kenny didn't handle Russ coming in very well, as all the reports. Apparently Pittsburgh reached out to Kenny and let him know, and he handled it very poorly and basically indirectly told him to trade him. So I don't know. Kenny is now just a backup, for Philadelphia. So that's interesting.
Which, given I think Kenny Pickett will benefit from a year
I think
or
so
two, behind somebody that
has been there,
Yeah, that's been there, has done that. I mean, you have Russell Wilson, who's Super Bowl winning quarterbacks,
Yep.
been to 2 of them.
Yep.
Also, then you have, Jalen Hurts, same thing.
Yep.
He's Super Bowl. He went to a Super Bowl. He's been to multiple NFC Championship games. He's a guy that knows how to get it done, and
Yep.
I think that's a guy that Kenny Pickett's gonna benefit from learning from.
Yeah, for sure. I love Kenny Pickett. And I'm looking forward to seeing him, grow and learn in that situation. It's the same thing with Justin, man. I mean, you got to keep in mind the Russ deal. It's still just like a 1 year, vet minimum deal. I mean, the Steelers could potentially look to Justin for next year. I mean, that's a legitimate possibility. So I think that's a great situation for Justin, because like the big thing that I'm so excited about for Justin is that he's going into a fairly stable situation. The roster's a little rocky. You know what I mean? Like, they traded away one of their receivers. Who was it? Deontay Johnson, I think. They have Najee Harris. That's great. Pretty good offensive line. Could improve it here in this first round. Good defense, good leaders. And then you have a veteran head coach, and you have honestly a really good young GM in Omar Khan. Like, that's just a great situation for Justin to walk into versus the wobbly situation to walk into for that was the Chicago Bears. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for Justin. He was a true professional, top to bottom. I'm upset the Bears failed him to the extent that we did. I mean, it sucks. Like, that's gonna not sit well with me for a long time.
Yeah, especially if he goes out there and does like what we expect and does
Yeah.
phenomenal.
If he does, I'm happy for him. I mean, like I've said on the show and at my peak of disgruntledness, because I'm not at the peak of disgruntledness now. I'm just at like, okay, I'm mellowed out. I've calmed down. I'm still disgruntled, but I'm calmed down because we're making good moves. But at my peak, I was saying I hope he goes somewhere and balls out. I'm be happy for him. I mean that. Like he's in the same realm for me, like a Gardner Minshew, where it's like I'm gonna love the dude no matter where he goes. Like he's been a true professional. He can ball out. It's just he's been screwed. Like we have screwed him from the jump, and then I saw some, I'm assuming you saw it too. I saw the RG3 comments about Caleb Williams that he should pull an Eli and not go to the Bears and stuff because of how much they failed Justin. And now they've finally started to do something for this next QB, but who says they're going to keep that? Man, it's a different regime, bro. Like,
yeah, I saw this tweet. It said that they drafted Justin Fields to be their rebuild quarterback, and now that they finally rebuilt,
they got rid of
him. They get rid of him.
Yeah,
kind of like, okay, big middle finger there.
Well, the argument that I've made this entire time, and it's just the thing is, like, let's be real. I think we can both agree to this. If if the Panthers didn't completely suck, right? If the Panthers did not completely suck it up this year, and Panthers ended up with, let's say, the 7th pick or something, and then the Bears, they already had the 9th from our own pick, this would never be a conversation. I don't think it would. I really don't. I think we would stick with 7 and 9. We would get a good tackle, good receiver, good edge rusher, and we'd keep Justin and move about our day. The Bears just fell into a really random and lucky situation of they just happen to have the number 1 pick again. And that's tough to not look at the top quarterback prospect and resetting the quarterback contract clock. I get it. You know what I mean? So it was just a very unique situation. That's all it was. Like if the Panthers even played relatively a little bit better, if the Bears had the 4th pick from the Panthers, do you think any chance the Bears would get drafted quarterback? Hell no. They'd be trying to get Marvin Harrison Jr. right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. I understand. It's a very unique situation. Just like the situation of Caleb Williams, coming to the Bears, and how lucky he is because RG3's take is garbage. Because like I love me some RG3. I love me some Bob Triple Sticks. All right, let me stress this. But his take is hot garbage because name me a quarterback drafted number 1, not first round, number 1 overall, that has walked into a better situation than the Chicago Bears right now. I don't think anyone can, right?
Well, I mean, player-wise, I agree, right?
Yeah.
This is a team that, they have their own number 9 pick, but let's be honest, this team that they have this year, like you said last week, if Caleb Williams plays anything close to Justin Fields last year, or is a halfway decent game manager, this team is a playoff team.
Correct.
Right. So that never happens in the top 10 ever.
Yeah, you're usually
because usually these top 10 teams are missing so many pieces.
Correct.
That you're walking into a shit show.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree roster wise.
Yeah.
I think they have the best roster out of the teams that are in the top 12. Right.
I'd agree to
that. Besides maybe the Vikings or the Jets.
I would say also maybe the Chargers too, but they lost a lot of pieces actually. So.
So they have one of the best rosters out of those top 12 picks.
Yep.
Now, management wise, that's a whole nother story in my opinion.
That is true. I would say management wise, the rockiest thing to me is the coaching staff. Because Flus is obviously on the hot seat, right? Shane Waldron's a phenomenal hire. He's a proven OC, and that's what we need. I've put my faith in Poles. All right, I have, because he's made the mistake of Chase Claypool. All right, Villas Jones, one of his first draft picks in the 4th round, ended up not doing shit. Whatever, he's a 4th rounder. It is what it is, right? Still should have been someone better. He's made a couple mistakes here or there, but overall, he's built a damn good roster. He has. He bringing Montez Sweat, getting Jalen extended, getting Keenan Allen, getting DJ Moore. Basically this giant heist of Carolina, where Carolina probably wouldn't answer a phone call from us if we tried to call them. DeAndre Swift, good value signing there. Kevin Bird, just a better Eddie Jackson, a healthier Eddie Jackson, basically. I'm here for that. So I believe in polls, but I'm with you on the other aspects of, Kevin Warren is still a new president for us. He's starting to get more involved. So it's a will see from him. I can't say negative or positive. The coaching staff is going to be like, okay, well, how is the coaching staff going to be this year? That's kind of on the one rocky area. But I mean, you got a damn good team around you. You get the team to rally. I think you can play good ball. I mean, like this team won 7 games last year. They could have won 10. They should have won 10. They should have been in the playoffs, if they would have won those 10. So it's a fascinating situation for a quarterback. And I don't want to get excited because I'm so used to disappointment as a Bears fan, but I can't help but to get excited because it's just like this is such a weird, unique time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Anyway,
sure.
Are you ready to jump into the mock then? Hop into it, have a great time, run through the show?
I am.
I can't think if there's anything else news-wise that we're missing. I guess shout out to cornerback Shaq Griffin. He signed with the Vikings. I just saw that deal, 1 year, $6 million. I really can't think of anything. Oh, Chase Young going to the Saints. Shout out to that one. Really bummed about that one. Really would have loved him in Chicago. But
Yo, I would have loved to pair him back with Sweat.
Oh my God, I know, man. That'd have been awesome. Sidebar joke though. Did you see what Brandon Ayuk said? Tweeted to Mike Tomlin.
Unfortunately, no.
Brandon Ayuk tweeted him. It's just like, hey man, I've been told that we look like twins. What's your thought? And there was a picture side by side. I've never noticed it, but now I can't unsee it. Brandon Ayuk is literally Mike Tomlin with dreads, man. Like they look identical, facial structure and everything. If you haven't seen it yet and you're listening to this show, go look up a picture of Brandon Ayuk and look up Mike Tomlin. That they could be twins. Like it's unbelievable how similar they look, bro.
I'm looking up Brandon.
Yeah, we got to have your reaction right now because I'm telling you, man, they look damn near identical. They really do. I'm telling you, bro. I saw that earlier and I thought it was hilarious how similar they looked. And then I also see the headlines where the Pittsburgh Steelers are interested in Brandon Ayuk. And I'm like, are they now? This is kind of suspicious.
That's suspicious.
Do you see it?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
They're twins.
That is actually
wild.
Here, I'll throw this up.
Since
it's not gonna mess up your.
Where are you throwing it?
I'm just throwing it up in Discord.
Oh, okay. All right, bet.
I'll just throw that up.
Yeah. Let me watch this. Let me check this out. I'm telling you, they're twins. They're twins, bro.
I mean, that's a younger photo if you want to, like,
yeah,
a new one.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
No, I mean, a younger Mike Tomlin works for it. It works even better because Brandon's young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're twins, bro. Dude, it's weird how similar they look.
that is crazy.
Oh, my God, bro. That's wild. That is wild. Jesus Christ. Also, just saw this. This is interesting. Didn't know about this. You know that show Quarterback that Netflix did?
Yeah.
They're doing a receiver version of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw the news from Bleacher Report from 8 hours ago. Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Debo Samuel, and Amon-Ra St. Brown will star in Receiver on Netflix this summer. That's what's up. That's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be very interesting.
I did also hear some news about Justin Jefferson. Because there's been rumors saying that they're going to trade Justin and, do a rebuild and all this stuff.
Right.
And they're saying that he was going to go to the Steelers and that he would be the number 2 receiver behind George Pickens. I was like, no shot, no chance in hell.
That's one of the
Vince
dumbest,
McMahon.
That's one of the dumbest takes.
That Justin Jefferson, if he would go to the Steelers, would be in the number 2. There's maybe 3 places that he would go to that would be a number 2.
Yeah.
And Steelers are not one of them.
Also, we didn't even touch on Kirk. Kirk going to Atlanta. That's huge. Or did we touch on that last week? I don't remember.
And what's funny is, there's reports coming out last week when he signed or whatever that Kyle Pitts, the only thing he wanted for his number was targets. And then we see yesterday that Kirk Cousins comes out being number 18.
I know. It's like, all right, sorry, you're not getting your targets, bro. Oh man, that's funny. All right, let's hop into our mock draft. Let's have a great time. All right, so number 1 overall pick, the Chicago Bears. I'm assuming all three of us are on the same page, right? Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Honestly, if the Justin Fields trade did not go through before my mock draft, I honestly still wouldn't have Caleb here. Honestly,
Really? I see.
think by
I
this,
would.
I mean, I think as long as Justin Fields was on that roster, they were not going to take him. But now that he's gone, yeah, I think it's now it's 110%. They're going Caleb.
Go
And
ahead.
if they don't, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, if they draft Drake or Jaden, that's where I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm done. I can't. All right, second overall pick, the Washington Commanders. I've got Jaden Daniels. Ricky's got Jaden Daniels. Who do you got?
I as well have Jaden Daniels.
Okay. I think Jaden's going to be the guy here, man. I know I mentioned last week that the odds for him just shot up to become the second overall pick. And I'm just like, man, I've been on that boat for like a month that I've been like, he's going to be the pick. It's not going to be Drake. It's going to be Jaden. I think out of these three top quarterbacks, I think Jaden and Caleb are the most like ready to go immediately. Drake is going to get thrown in to go wherever he goes, whether it be Washington or New England. He's going to get thrown in, obviously. But I don't think Drake's ready to go. That's my personal take.
I mean, I disagree with the Caleb. I don't think he's ready to go, but I think he's just going to be put in a position being drafted number 1. But that's neither here or there. I think there's only really 2 or 3 other quarterbacks that are really what I've seen from their college tape over the last year. Now, I didn't go any farther because I'm not that guy. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree. Jade Daniels is probably the most NFL ready from what I've seen in college.
Yeah. All right, the Patriots. Do you think they're going to stay here and take their guy? Because all they've got is Jacoby Brissett on that roster, I think. Or do you think they're going to pull a Patriots move and trade down, even though Bill Belichick's not there? I have them getting Drake May as well as Ricky.
I also have them Drake May, but
Okay.
I will not be surprised if they trade down for a team like Minnesota,
Yeah.
Denver.
Yeah.
It
would be
or
one of
somebody
those.
amongst
Let's
yeah
be
amongst
real.
those amongst those to trade down. But we'll see.
Fourth pick, Arizona. This is a no-brainer, right? Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I think if you don't go Marvin Harrison Jr. right here with the top 3, what people are saying, the top 3 quarterbacks are gone.
Right.
And then having the number 1 receiver there and not get him, you're probably don't deserve to be on the staff. So
I agree.
yeah, I have Marvin Harrison there at 4.
All right, who do you got? What do you have the Chargers doing? Do you have them staying here, or do you have them trading down, and who do you have them getting? Because like me and Ricky, we have them staying here, but me and Ricky have 2 different picks.
So I didn't do any trades.
I have no trades either. I have no trades for mine.
I have no trades. I usually do trades closer towards the end of our mocks.
Yeah, same here.
Because then we start hearing actual like trade talks.
We kind of have an idea.
Yeah. But I do have the Chargers staying, of course, like I said, and I have them. I was choosing between 2 players, and I have them going 5 and 6. But I think with the losses at this position, they have to go with this position and give Herbert some weapons. I went with Malik Neighbors.
I did too.
5.
I did too. With how they've depleted their receiving core and how much of a bust Quentin Johnston was last year, and he could get better, he could. But I personally thought he was a bust coming in the draft because he had such a huge drop problem, and it showed last year. I think you got to go receiver here, man. I got Malik Neighbors, but I think Ricky's pick is still a good pick, being Olu Fashanu, offensive tackle from Penn State. I think that's still a good pick, too. You pair him up with Rashawn Slater. I think the Chargers here will either go wide receiver, the best OT on the board, or Brock Bowers. That's kind of my take. Or they could trade out, but I've got Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, that's how I was feeling, too. I was feeling like the 3 players I was really choosing between here. Is Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, or Brock Bowers. Yep. Because we all know how Jim Harbaugh likes to play, likes to run his offense. He likes to running 2-3 tight ends.
Yep.
And why not grab the best tight end prospect in a very long time to help you do that?
True. Sixth pick. This is also one that I went back and forth on a lot about what direction they'll go. Again, me and Ricky's got different picks. I have the Giants, after much consideration, I have them going weapon. I have them going Romeo Odunze, giving Daniel Jones a weapon. Ricky went with my original pick, which is offensive tackle Joe Alt. That was my original pick here at 6 was Joe Alt going to the Giants and beefing up that line they need to beef up. But it just wouldn't shock me if they win a weapon because their receiving core is dog dookie.
Yeah. I think what's funny is that this is probably one of the deepest tackle and offensive line classes that we've seen.
I agree.
But unfortunately, I think you're going to see a lot of skill positions going off the board in this first round, unlike most years. Because again, it's getting more and more to this, you know. I mean, it's been that way, but I mean, people are exceeding like the Chiefs and stuff are just loaded with weapons. So teams are trying to, I guess, mock that. But I do have the Giants going Joe Alt here, tackle Notre Dame.
That is my 7th pick to the Tennessee Titans. I have them getting Joe Alt. They got Peter Skoronski last year, but Peter Skoronski mostly played like guard. They didn't really put him at tackle, even though that's what he came out as. So I think you finally get a tackle here, whether it be a Joe Alt, Ola Fashanu, whoever's available. I've got the Titans beefing up that line here. And Ricky has Romeo Odunze here.
I also have Odunze here too at 7 for the Tennessee Titans.
That'd be a receiving core, man. You'd have D Hop, you'd have Calvin, Odunze, and then Traylon Burks. That'd be a receiving core.
Yeah, I mean, other than your offensive line, and hopefully Pollard can do something behind that offensive line. It's really just that quarterback position you got to figure out. Is it going to be Will Levis long term, or
someone
else? Going to be looking somewhere else.
What about your 8th pick? Are we all on the same page? As me and Ricky both have Dallas Turner, edge rusher from Alabama.
I don't.
Ooh.
I have cornerback Cooper DeJean out of Iowa.
Whoa, you've got him going high. I love that so much.
Yep, I think he is.
That you've got him so high.
Yeah, I think he's a top 3 corner. In the thing. So yeah, I mean, I have him going 8.
Wow.
I mean, if he's top 3 on my board, why wouldn't he go? Before anybody else. So.
I mean, that's fair. I love Cooper. Love him. I didn't have him that high though for the mock drafts. I love Cooper because he can play corner or safety. That's a Dan Campbell guy, let me tell you. That's a Dan Campbell guy up in Detroit, man. But I love that. With what we saw last year with some strange picks, it wouldn't shock me, is what I'll say. All right, the Bears at 9. So there is a couple different ways, in my opinion, that we will go here. I definitely think Brock Bowers is a possibility if he's sitting here, and that means no disrespect to Cole. All right, I know we signed Gerald Everett too. He's a nice second, but I don't think Cole's like not our guy. I just think if you have a guy like Brock and he's sitting there, why not get him? But I think you could also go edge rush here like a Jared Verse, and then honestly, in my case, I have them getting Olu Fashanu. I think if Joe Alt or Olu is sitting there at 9, I think the Bears grab one of them to beef up the line. I like some of the other tackles a lot because I'm with you, Shane. I think this is a very deep offensive line draft because, for example, me and Ricky both, and I'm assuming you too, I've got 2 interior offensive linemen going in the first, let alone the tackles, right? Like, I think this is a great offensive line draft. But like, I think if it's not Alt or Fashanu, I mean, I think you just play it safe. You get your edge rusher to pair up with Sweat. That's my opinion. So go with a Jared Verse. But man, in my case, I think it's a real possibility that Fashanu is going to be there at 9. And you go ahead and grab him and continue to beef up that line because I know you got Braxton Jones. He's okay. Wright's a beast. I like what Wright did last year as a rookie. But you pair up Wright with Fashanu, man, you got some good exterior protection. And then Ricky went with the Brock Bowers pick, which that I would be very excited about that one too.
Yeah, I think they're going to go one or two ways with this 9th pick. I think they're going to go skill position, grab another receiver, grab a tight end, just whoever they like. They could trade out of this pick, for the 11-12 spot, I think. I think they're comfortable with their defensive situation right now. That they're not gonna take a guy here at 9. I think if they do, if they trade back, they're gonna get somebody in the second round, maybe late first if they trade back in. So I was thinking either offensive line or a skill position here, but I am gonna go with Brock Bowers.
I mean, I like the pick. With the 10th pick, the New York Jets. So I have got Brock Bowers going to the Jets here. Ricky's pick is very interesting. For the 10th overall pick, the New York Jets, Ricky has the Jets taking JJ McCarthy. His reasoning behind it is not only to prepare for the future, but his reasoning was hilariously enough because of all the news that Aaron Rodgers might be the vice president or go on a vice presidential run with Robert F. Kennedy. And I was just like, that's hilarious in all shapes and forms. So yeah, JJ McCarthy at 10 for Ricky and Brock Bowers at 10 for me.
Okay. Quick question: did you hear my 9 pick? Because
yeah, I did.
Okay,
yeah,
I completely froze for a second.
Yeah,
so.
you good.
And that's definitely an interesting number 10 pick and reasoning, but I'm going defensive line, Byron Murphy out of Texas here.
I like it, Murphy a lot. I like him a lot. I like Newton a lot too from Illinois. All right, 11th pick, Minnesota. This is where I was so back and forth because like I had different mocks play out where Brock Bowers were still on the board here, and the Vikings just go ahead and snag him, even though they've got a good tight end, one of the best in the league. When you got a guy like that, why not get him and pair him up with that great tight end? You know, I was real back and forth on this pick because like I was kind of in the boat of they would try to get JJ or someone at 23. But I've kind of flipped that switch where I think the Vikings are going to really play into the desperation, and I think they're going to go ahead and get JJ here because I think they want to try to get the next best quarterback off the board before Denver. That's my personal take. So I got JJ going to the Vikings at 11. Even though I do not think he's a first rounder. I don't. I think I think the quarterback class and all this chatter, because I see the mock drafts from these analysts where it's like Bo and Michael and JJ's all going in the. I think it's all smoke, just like the Kenny Pickett draft where Malik Willis almost apparently went number 3 overall to the Lions. It's all smoke. I don't buy it. I do not buy the hype. I buy the hype of the top 3, and that's it. But I think there's going to be some desperation happen in this first round, and JJ is going to be that great example. And then Ricky has, I'm going to mispronounce his name, Talisi Fuga, the offensive tackle from Oregon State, my Beavs. I don't know how to pronounce his name, though. Beefing up the offensive line for the Vikings. I think it's a good pick by Rick.
And I have somebody different. I will tell you I don't have a quarterback going here.
That's fair.
I have Quinyon Mitchell, corner back out of Toledo.
Do you like that corner?
I do.
How much do you like Mitchell? How much do you like him?
I mean, I think he, especially in the East-West Shrine game. I mean, he was top 5 player in that game. I think he rose his draft stock a lot, and he ran pretty well in the combine. He's a guy that torched Arkansas when he was a freshman, sophomore-ish. So I've been kind of watching him here and there, just keeping up with him. I think he's a great fit. I think he's NFL ready. I think you can play him at that corner, that nickel position. I think he's a great fit for what they want to do in Minnesota.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way because I have Mitchell going to the Denver Broncos at 12. So I'm glad you feel that way because that's my pick for 12.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's my pick. So I'm glad you like Mitchell because that's who I think is going to go there potentially. Ricky for the Broncos has the edge rusher from UCLA, Latu, which I think is also a great pick. I like him a lot. I think he could potentially sneak into the top 10.
I have us trying to rebuild somewhat of a defense that we had many, many years ago.
Yep.
And I think that starts with an edge, Dallas Turner from Alabama.
Yeah, I noticed he wasn't set in yours first. I mean, he slipped a little bit because me and Ricky both had him going at 8. So yeah, that'd be. I mean, he's the best edge rusher in the draft. So if you guys can grab him at 12, like
For sure.
that's a fucking win. You know,
For sure.
All right, the Las Vegas Raiders. I've got them going cornerback. You know, they love their SEC up there in Vegas. I have them going cornerback Terrion Arnold from Alabama. And Ricky's got them also going an Alabama Crimson Tide player, but he's got them getting offensive tackle J.C. Latham.
I've got them going on the other side of the ball. I've got them going defensive line,
Okay.
beefing up that interior. Jerzon Newton out of Illinois.
I like it. All right, the Saints at 14. I've got them beefing up the offensive line, getting a potential top 10 pick, J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama. And, Ricky has them getting Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State. I respect that. It's a good pick.
I also have somebody different. I have them beefing up the offensive line, but going tackle with Fashanu.
Yeah. Olu Fashanu.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just assuming I'm pronouncing his name right. I say his name with such confidence, like I know that's how you pronounce it. I'm just assuming. Like I want that to be known. Olu Fashanu. I'm just assuming.
I'm shooting in the dark over here, so.
Yeah, I'm just making a strong assumption. All right, the Colts at 15. I had them getting Nate Wiggins, cornerback. I think it's going to be kind of tempting to look at a couple other players that I still have available throughout my mock draft process, but I think beefing up the secondary is a good move. And then Ricky over here has quite the fall on a top 5 pick for me and you. He has the Colts getting Malik Neighbors, who fell quite a bit in his.
If they were able to get Malik Neighbors at 15,
that's gonna piss me off.
That would be insane.
That's gonna piss me off.
A top 3 receiver going into the mid to late teens is absurd.
That's gonna make me so mad.
But I agree with you. I have them getting Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson here.
Okay. All right, the Seahawks at 16. I have them getting Jared Verse here, edge rusher from Florida State. Kind of fell a little bit. And then Ricky's got them getting one of my top 5 overall players that I love. Not in terms like he's like a top 5 player in the draft. Just the top 5 I love. Okay, let me stress that. Jackson Powers Johnson. I just love his name. Love his freaking name so much. He also has a burger named after him as well at some restaurant over in Oregon. So shout out to that. Interior offensive lineman, mostly center for Oregon. He's played guard as well. I love this guy so much. So much. I would love the Bears to get him. But he's got him becoming a Seattle Seahawk, so I respect it.
That's funny. I do too. Jackson Powers Johnson.
I love Jackson Powers Johnson.
I don't know why I threw a junior in there, but Jackson Powers Johnson, I have him go to Seattle as well.
I love this guy so much. I want to buy his jersey. I gotta buy his jersey. I love this guy. This guy's awesome. Not only his name, but he's got a burger named after him. He seems like a chill dude you could hang out with, and he's a damn good player, a very versatile player at that, man. He only played 1 year at center, I believe. I think that's right. I think he was mostly a guard and shifted over to center this last year and then balled out. So love this guy, man. I can't wait to see where he goes. Next up, the Duval Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them getting – there's a couple different ways that I think the Jags could go. I think they could go edge rusher, I think cornerback, and I think wide receiver are all different directions. Depending on the offensive lineman that's here, maybe that, but I think they're going to really look at defense before anything else, whether it be edge or corner. I have them getting edge rusher from UCLA, Latu, to pair up with Josh Allen. I think that's going to be a really good play. But I think what Ricky did is also a fair play, which is Terrion Arnold, cornerback from Alabama. I think both of those are very fair plays.
Gone a different way. I think the mid to late teens, early 20s here, you're going to see a run on these tackles.
Okay.
That we've been talking about.
Yep.
Because up to this point, I only have 2 tackles gone. Fashanu from Penn State going to 14, and Joel at 6 going to the Giants.
Yep.
I think you're going to see the next 4, 5, 6 tackles potentially go in these next 8 picks or so.
I agree.
So I have the Jaguars getting J.C. Latham, tackle out of Alabama.
I mean, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I mean, I think he's a top 10 talent, but I'm with you in the mindset that I think you're going to see a lot of skill players, a lot of QBs and stuff go in that top 10. So, Next up for the Bengals. Originally, I was going to have them go probably tackle finally aim to protect Joe. But like I said at the beginning of the show, they've got Orlando Brown obviously already, and then they signed Trent Brown as well. So I feel like that kind of solidifies their tackle spot. So with T. Higgins wanting to trade, Tyler Boyd I think's released. They're obviously Jamar is not going anywhere. I think it's a fair play to go ahead and try to once again get another receiver. I think there's other things they need more, but I mean, I look at what they did getting Jamar. Obviously, it was the right pick at the time. I mean, you could argue it if he would have had a better tackle, the Bengals would have won the Super Bowl. It's a back and forth on what was the right pick. They made the right pick, but they didn't make the right pick at the same time. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I think they're going to continue that trend, and they're just going to go ahead and get another receiver. I got them getting Brian Thomas Jr. with wide receiver from LSU. You have T probably out the door, and then you've got Tyler Boyd already out the door. I think you go ahead and ship off T somewhere, get some value for him. Go ahead and get a new young receiver. Reset the clock on when you got to sign him. Sign Jamar Chase. Sign Brian if he's good a few years from now. I think that's smart business for your receiving core, especially when you got to sign Jamar and it's going to be one of the biggest contracts in NFL history. Because if you sign T right now, T's not going to get that deal, right? So that's just kind of my thought process behind them going receiver potentially. But Ricky's got them going a smart move and getting something they need and getting defensive tackle Newton from Illinois. Whether it be Jazar Newton or Johnny Newton, depending on how you want to call him. I've seen both. I've seen both names for him. So
Yeah, honestly, if I would have, I think I did my mock draft after or maybe a little before the news came out that the Bengals signed them.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I just wasn't lazy, I could have redone it. Like while we were sitting here talking, but no point in that because honestly, I probably would have went the same way. For the Bengals, I probably would since they signed tackles. I wouldn't have them drafting a tackle like I do. I would have them signing somebody like a Brian Thomas Jr., a Donnie Mitchell, somebody like that. But in this mock draft, 1.0, it'll be different. My 2.0, I have them signing your guy from the Beavs, and I'll let you try and torch that name because I am
Talisi Fuga. I'm winging it. Talisi Fuga.
Yeah, that guy.
So I think that's potentially close because I see the first part tally right like that it's tally it's tally EC tally EC tally EC
Tally. Only thing I can think of is Talisi Fuaga.
That's probably right. Hold on, we're gonna go to Google Translate for this. All right, we're gonna nail this down.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Talisi Fuaga.
I think Fuaga is probably right. All right, let me turn this up. All right, so let's see here.
Talise Fuaga.
I don't think that's right. That does not sound right at all. All right, that does not sound right at all. Hang on. I'll play it again, please. Okay, it's not working now. But I think Talisi Fuaga, I think that sounds kind of right. I don't know, though. But he's still a good tackle. In fact, he's such a good tackle that I've got them going at 19 to the Rams. And Ricky's got Chop Robinson, edge rush from Penn State, going to the Rams, or his other name, which is what is it? I don't have it on my mock, but he has another name too. But Chop Robinson, Talisi Fuaga for the Rams for me and Rick.
Yeah, I have now a third tackle going in a row to the Rams. Troy Fautanu from Washington.
Fautanu, yeah, that sounds right. I like him. I like him quite a bit. All right, so the next pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is where I've got my guy. Jackson Powers Johnson, baby, going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I mean, what more stronger of a name do you need to become a Pittsburgh Steeler? You know what I mean? Like, that's just a match made in heaven. Jackson Powers Johnson, future Pittsburgh Steeler. That's just, that's strong. That's powerful. So I'm here for it. Meanwhile, Ricky's got the Steelers getting a Marius Mims, offensive tackle from Georgia.
I also have them getting a Marius Mims tackle, and that's my fourth tackle in a row. That's 6 in this first round.
That would not shock me because I mean, like, just with my string of picks that we're on, I've currently shout out 2 offensive linemen. I'm about to shout out a third in a row. So I do feel you because my next pick, me and Ricky both actually agree on. For the Dolphins, we've got him getting the tackle you've already got off the board, Troy Fatanu from Washington, going to the Miami Dolphins for me and Rick.
Yeah, and honestly, I think because I have, what is this? 1, 2, 6 out of my last 7 picks have been offensive linemen. Because of that, some players have fallen.
That's fair.
You had this guy probably right in that range where I started this this offensive lineman kind of go. Jared Verse, edge out of Florida State, going right here, 21 to Miami.
That is a fall. And man, if he went to Miami, I think Mike McDaniel would be shitting his pants. You know what I mean?
and I think it's just like because of this. I mean, I have from 12 to 20, I have 5 tackles, a center, 2 edges, and a corner going.
Yep.
So, I think it's just because these edges and offensive linemen, I think they're just so deep, and I think once 1 or 2 of them are gone, you're just going to see kind of a domino effect. You're going to see the top guys just kind of come off the board pretty close to each other, if not right after another.
Yeah, and we've got like 10 more picks, and I've got 4 more offensive linemen coming off the board. I think it's a very deep offensive lineman draft. Again, I think it's so deep that I have 2 interior offensive linemen going off the board. Jackson Powers Johnson being one, and I'll go ahead and say him because I think most people's got him in the first. Graham Barton being the other. I've got him going first too.
We're what, pick 21 right now. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 more offensive linemen going.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's keep rocking with it then. Pick 22, the Philadelphia Eagles. I have them going cornerback here. It's going to break their heart and soul for them not to get the Georgia Bulldog that's on the board right now for me. They're going to instead go Alabama and get Kool-Aid McKinstry. And let's see, Ricky has them going with another corner who fell quite a bit in his. He's got them getting Mitchell from Toledo.
I have them getting a corner, and also an Alabama corner, but also different than you, I believe, because you got Kool-Aid McKinstry going here. I have the one that was on the other side of the ball, Tyron Arnold.
Okay. Fell in yours. Man, he fell in yours too. All right, next up, the Vikings. What are they going to do here? That's the question. So let's do a recap on Rick. Rick had him getting Talisi Fuaga. Yeah, let's go with that. Not quarterback. So they're going to go quarterback here for Rick. I have them going defensive lineman Byron Murphy here. Let me ask you a question. What quarterback do you think Ricky's got them drafting?
Penix.
Nope. He has the Minnesota Vikings getting Bo Nix at pick 23.
I mean, I think me and Rick have kind of lined up here without even talking either. I also have Minnesota Vikings at 23 getting who I think personally is a top 3 quarterback in this draft, Bo Nix.
I like Bo a lot, man. I do. I just don't know if he's a first-round talent, but I love me some Bo. I hope he's a beast.
In my opinion, the only thing that's hurting him is his height right now. But we've seen people don't really care about that these days.
Yeah,
so
sure. Look at Kyler Murray. All right. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. So for me, I have them getting offensive linemen. Tyron Smith walking. You got Tyler Smith, who's good, but Tyron Smith walking. I feel like you need to boost up that tackle spot a little bit. I have them getting another Tyler. So they're going to have Tyler Smith, and now they're going to have Tyler Gotton from Oklahoma. So they're going to have 2 Oklahoma-esque tackles with the guy from Tulsa and now the guy from OU. How about that? In the state of Texas. And
I have them getting a top 5-6 receiver in the draft. Somebody who you already have going, who you've had actually get drafted here recently, Brian Thomas Jr. Now, again, like I said, if I would have paid attention to the Bengals signings, I probably would have Brian Thomas going at 18, not here at 24. But I think if he's here at 24, he's going to be gone. So...
You know what? You and Ricky once again are on the same page. That's who Ricky's got going to the Cowboys is Brian Thomas Jr. That's back-to-back picks. You guys are on the same page.
Hey,
all right, let's see. Next up, the Green Bay Packers. Ricky's got them going Kool-Aid McKenzie at cornerback, and I think that's a good pick. I have them going just a real, this guy just screams Green Bay. You know what I mean? Just like he screams Dan Campbell, and that is Cooper DeJean, cornerback safety from Iowa. I think this guy would fit really well for the Green Bay Packers, unfortunately, because I love this guy, and I don't want him to be a Packer.
look, Kool-Aid McKinstry, I really wanted him to go right here because, I mean, these odd names, to me, they've kind of been associated with Green Bay. I mean, dating back to Ha Clinton Dix, another Alabama corner safety guy. So, I would have loved that pick, but unfortunately, I went another route. I went safety as well, but I have the number 2 safety coming off the board, and Tyler Nubin out of Minnesota.
Okay, I respect it. All right, next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is where my other offensive lineman goes from the interior. I got Graham Barton going to the Bucs here. I like this pick a lot. Help protect that quarterback, Baker Mayfield, that you just signed. And then Ricky's got him getting cornerback, Nate Wiggins. Also a good pick.
I have my second edge rusher coming off the board here. Laiatu Latu from UCLA.
He fell for you too. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think it's because the players while these players are falling. I think it's just because
The
like
way
I
things
said,
are falling
once
out.
these tackles go, you're going to see a run on them, especially in
Yeah.
the mid to late teens with these teams that need them.
Right.
They're going to go.
True.
So unfortunately, with that happening, it just pushes the other players back.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. I think you're right. I think you're going to see just a run of players going through. You know what I mean? So, all right. Next up is the Arizona Cardinals with their second pick, and I have them going defensive line here. I have them going Jazir Newton, who could potentially be like a 10, 11, 12, 13th overall kind of pick. That's the vibe he can give off, but. It's like what you just said, man. You're going to see a string of a certain position just go, and it's going to have these other players just kind of drop, and I think that's the situation here. Meanwhile, Ricky's got him getting offensive tackle Tyler Guyton to help protect Kyler Murray. Tyler protecting Kyler.
I have them going defense. You get the number 1 receiver. You get a top 5 corner, and you're here at 27. I have them getting Kool-Aid McKinstry,
Okay.
corner at Alabama.
All right, this next pick, me and Ricky's got the same position but different players, and I'm just kind of curious if you're on the same position because I know for the years past, all of us have beat the table they need to get a running back, right? Now, me and Rick are beating the table they need to get a receiver because they let Gabe Davis walk. Stephon Diggs wants out, from all the rumors and stuff. Do you have them getting a receiver, or do you have them going somewhere else?
I also have them getting a receiver.
All right, so we're all beating that table, which means, you know what that means, Shane? That
they're
means
not going to go receiver.
They're not going to go receiver.
they're going to grab Blake Corum here at 28. Finally, for the 1 year that we don't see it coming.
No,
let's
let's also address this. We all have them going receiver. In reality, what they probably should go, and honestly, what we should probably look at on our next mocks is probably defensive back because they let Tre'Davious White walk, they left Jordan Poyer walk, they let Micah Hyde walk. So honestly, I think all 3 of us might have made a big mistake going receiver, but they do need a receiver. But they might.
I mean, I agree. But in my opinion, all your top guys,
they're gone at this point.
They're gone.
Yeah.
So unless they want to make a move on one of these guys, I don't think they're going to be here at 28.
I
agree.
At
28, I think you just get best available player, and that's I think right now between this and offensive lineman, this is like the player I have going here. Unless you do want to get one of my 2 tackles and other offensive linemen that goes after this guy. If you don't grab one of those guys, I think you have to grab this receiver here.
Who do you got?
Donnie Mitchell out of Texas.
All right, so me and you on the same page. We think in the same page here. I also have a Donnie Mitchell, and then Ricky's got Keon Coleman from Florida State, which I think is also a fine pick. I like a Donnie a little bit more here for this pick, though.
I do too. Keon Coleman is one of those guys. He's going to be, more of an interior guy. Also, do not be surprised if South Carolina receiver Leggett gets into the first round, right into this range as well, because I think he's going to be a stud, and he's getting a lot of high grades from what I've seen
Yep.
in the last couple of days. So if he doesn't go in this 25 to 32 range, he'll be definitely in the first 10 picks of the second round. But yeah, I have a Donnie Mitchell going here.
The next pick is they have become one of my favorite teams to try to predict for, because they're not going to just go the expected route of like, well, there's a lot of good players left on the board right now for all three of our mocks. No, they're just going to get who the fuck they want. And I respect it because it brought them to the NFC Championship game and almost to a Super Bowl. So this is one of the more difficult ones to pick because it's just like, what the hell are the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell going to do? I have been trying my best to find Dan Campbell guys and make that my pick. So Ricky went with a great first-round draft player pick with Byron Murphy, the second defensive lineman from Texas. I could see that. That seems like a guy that would go to the Detroit Lions to be a Dan Campbell guy. But again, I'm going with the mindset they're going to once again get a guy you would not expect to go in the first, and he's going to go in the first because they like him. And I'm going to stick with the pick for my 1.0, and that is cornerback Enos Rackstraw Jr. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Cornerback from Missouri. This is a Dan Campbell guy. The way he plays, he is a Dan Campbell guy. I'm calling it now. I'm speaking this into existence. Enos is going to be a Detroit Lion.
Well, I'm going to go other side of the ball. I have somebody that's going to help their offense. It's going to free up another player to start getting targets, and I mean, who knows? He could be an all-pro once they draft this guy and it frees this guy up. Okay, you ready? They're going to draft tackle Tyler Guyton to free up Dan Skipper. He's going to go on the outside, start being the number 2 receiver. It's going to be great.
It's going to be that's a great pick, except here's the problem, Shane. That's someone who's expected to go in the first. That's not who it's going to be.
True.
They're going to get someone completely random that's just like, he's going in the first. God, I love that they drafted Jack Lambert in the first, man. I love that so much. That is awesome. Anyway, the Ravens at 30. I had them going tackle here. Amarius Mims from Georgia, who fell a little bit in mine. I think protecting Lamar is going to be a good play here, and also giving a little extra boost to help get the ball moving for Derrick Henry. And Ricky's kind of in the same mindset of just kind of trying to protect your backfield, but he's going Graham Barton into your guard from Duke.
Once again, second time I'm having multiple tackles go back to back. I also agree with Ricky. I'm going to have Graham Barton, tackle out of Duke, going here at 30.
Hell yeah. Love it. All right, last two, baby. Last two. San Francisco 49ers. I have them going tackle here, Jordan Morgan from Arizona. And Ricky's got them getting my guy, Leonard Taylor, defensive lineman from Miami, Florida. Love that pick. Don't think he's going to make it into the first, but if he did, I'd be very excited. What about you? What do you got?
Honestly, this is one of the picks that I didn't know what to do with. 31 and 30, 31 and 32. I did not know where to go.
Oh, I knew exactly where to go for the Chiefs. I did not know where to go I didn't know where to go for the Ravens or the 49ers. I was at a loss, especially the 49ers.
I kind of knew a direction with the Ravens, either offensive line or maybe get a receiver. But with getting Derrick Henry, I think you have to go offensive line here. But 31 and 32, I have no idea. So I just kind of picked what I kind of felt was what they needed, maybe, or I could be 100% million percent wrong. But I went Zach Frazier, offensive lineman out of West Virginia.
I do like that pick, man. Zach plays with a lot of guts. You know what I mean? Zach plays some tough ball. So I like him a lot. I love the interior offensive lineman of this draft. I'm sorry if I keep harping on this, but I love them, dude. I love Jackson. I love Graham. I love Zach. The interior offensive lineman of this draft is insane this year. You know what I mean? Usually it's kind of weak, honestly, if we're going to be real. This year it's awesome.
3-4 guys and then everybody else. Now, yeah. I'll go out over it after we get done with this last 32, pick 32, but yeah. I don't even want to know how many offensive linemen and interior guys I have going here. So.
Right. For the 32nd overall pick to our Super Bowl, our back-to-back Super Bowl champs. Ricky couldn't give me a break, man. We already have a ton of names in this that we can't pronounce anyway, and he couldn't give me a break, and he couldn't give me an easy one to pronounce. Instead, he gives me another one I don't know how to pronounce. So we have Kingsley, Sumatea maybe. Offensive tackle from BYU. I don't know how to. I'm sorry, man. I'm going to see if I can get my shit together coming into the next mock draft. I have them going, in my opinion, if he's here, this is the most surefire pick in this first round besides Caleb Williams to the Bears. If he's here. And that's Xavier freaking Worthy, wide receiver from Texas. You cannot tell me that this guy is not another Tyreek Hill. Cannot. Get this guy on this KC team right now, and you will see the same thing we saw a couple years ago with Tyreek and Travis Kelce. Xavier Worthy, Kansas City Chiefs. Lock it in.
I mean, look, they already got Hollywood Brown. They've got plenty of receivers, but I do agree with you. They grab another one here.
Yep.
But they go on the other side of the spectrum here.
Oh.
They get your guy that is going to be dependable, third and short, third medium, dependable red zone guy, Lad McConkey, receiver out of Georgia.
I love him. I love Lad so much, man. I love this guy. The fact you got him in the first, I respect it. Man,
Again, I didn't know where to go. I like McConkey. I like what he did at Georgia. Yeah. I think he's just that guy.
Dude, I love Lad. He's a guy that I could see going very high in the second too. I love Lad, man. I think he's gonna be a beast. But anyway, so that wraps up our mock drafts. 1.0 for Shane, 2.0 for me and Slick Rick. So looking forward to hitting the next ones at some point. Also, something else, a shout out, breaking news in the last 15 minutes. Lions defensive lineman Romeo Okawa has announced he is retiring from the NFL. Another retirement to shout out. Don't want to miss this. But Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker from the Cowboys, is also retiring due to injuries. He had a neck injury last year, so hate to see that, man, because Leighton was a beast, and I know Cowboys fans are bummed, but obviously wishing him the best.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the hit that got him that injury was a little dirty. Mm-hmm. So, but it is what it is. Also, I did a little counting just now. I have 10 interior offensive linemen going. That includes 7 tackles. No, yeah, 7 tackles and centers going in the first round.
Okay, so yeah, just 10 offensive linemen, you mean?
Yeah.
Man, let me look at mine real quick. All right, so we got Joe at 7. We got Olu at 9. We have JC at 14. We got Talisi at 19, Jackson at 20, Troy at 21, Tyler at 24, Graham at 26, Amarius at 30, and Jordan at 31. I also have 10. Dude, it's gonna be a wild first round. Like, obviously, our mocks are wrong. Like, they're always wrong, but it's gonna be wild regardless. You know what I mean?
For sure, I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too, man. The Lions are also signing Kevin Zittler. I saw that from yesterday, so that's a good signing for the Lions. Good guard there. Love to see that one. Jerry Jeudy also got a 3-year, $41 million fully guaranteed contract extension. Holy shit. Didn't expect that for Jeudy. No disrespect. A little disrespect. But did not expect that one for Jeudy with the Browns over there. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting, but I mean, we all know the Browns like to overpay players that haven't done much the previous year. So
yeah, they do, man. Yeah, they do. Oh man, but mock drafts locked in, so that's pretty exciting there. Looking forward to hitting the next round at some point. I don't know what we'll talk about next week. I know Slick Rick will be back, so I guess we'll kind of just talk about whatever. We got a couple pro days going on, and then just kind of make some shit up. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Shane, is there anything else today that you want to chat about? Anything else you want to touch on, chat about in detail, anything of the sorts?
Not really. I mean, football wise, we kind of pretty much chattered about everything that's new I guess.
And important, like Brandon Ayuk and Mike Tomlin being twins.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we should have started off the show with that.
In fact, NFL even tweeted it 3 hours ago, a picture of them side by side.
I mean, there you go.
I'm telling you, they're twins. You can't tell me otherwise. You need to go look at it for yourself if you haven't looked. All right. So I'm gonna hit the music. We're gonna get out of here. I want to go eat and play some games. I think is what I'm gonna be doing. Shane, last thoughts to the speakers.
Be a friend, tell a friend about a terrible football show. All the links you need for our sponsors down below. We didn't do any ad breaks today.
Nope, forgot.
But that's okay. It's okay. I was gonna bring it up, but we were flowing, we were vibing, throwing it back to previous seasons with just me and Alex on the mic. So yeah, be sure to check out Rogue Energy, Agent Inc. Grab all your jerseys and your gamer fuel down below. Code SparkE3. Check out other podcasts that SparkE3 does. You got
pretty much Gamesthetic is the only one at the moment.
Okay. Check out Gamesthetic. I'm sure
Yeah.
links will be below. Check out Alex and mine's socials also be down below. And have a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you're listening or watching the show. And we're out of here.
Yeah, I totally meant to shout out them sponsors, man, before the mock and in the middle of the mock. And then when I forgot at the beginning, I meant to shout out at 16 and finish at 32. And like you said, man, we were just on a roll, and I totally forgot. Oh, so unfortunate, bro. But yeah, make sure to do everything Shane said with Rogue Energy. Make sure to check them out, as well as Agent Inc. And we'd appreciate that extra support. As well as going over to sparky3.com. You can sign up for free. It's sign up $5 a month. All right, we'll be back next week. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Bye.